A Harvard professor flew to Zimbabwe to prove the children had imagined it. What he found instead made him publicly state that something real had happened to them. Welcome to Untold Lores, The Investigator Who Came, Part 2 of 4. News of what had happened at Ariel School spread quickly. Within days, the story had reached a researcher named Cynthia Hind, who was at the time the most well-documented UFO investigator in Africa. Hind had been recording sighting reports across the continent for years. She arrived at the school shortly after the event and began doing something that most early coverage had not done. She sat with the children individually and asked them to draw what they had seen. The drawings were done without the children seeing each other's work. Each child drew alone, with only basic art supplies, and with no prompting beyond being asked to put on paper what they had witnessed. When Hind collected the drawings and laid them side by side, she found that the craft in each one was strikingly similar. A flat disc shape, a dome on top, and in almost every drawing, a figure near or on the craft with a large round head and eyes that the children had drawn dark and very large, taking up most of the face. Hind documented everything and contacted Harvard psychiatrist Dr. John Mack. Dr. Mack was not a fringe researcher. He was a full professor at Harvard Medical School and a Pulitzer Prize winner. He had spent years studying people who reported contact with non-human beings, not to prove or disprove their accounts, but to understand what the experience meant to them. When Hind reached him about the Ariel School case, Mack flew to Zimbabwe. In November 1994, Dr. Mack arrived at the school and conducted interviews with the children, filmed interviews, recorded on camera, which still exist and have been seen by millions of people. He spoke to the children in a calm and careful way, asking open questions. He was looking specifically for signs of group suggestion, the idea that children might copy a story from each other and begin to believe it themselves. What he found did not support that idea. The children gave detailed, consistent accounts. They did not hesitate. They did not contradict themselves between the filmed session and earlier written reports. Several children, when asked directly if they might have been mistaken, or if they had heard the story from another child first, became visibly upset at the suggestion. One boy said very clearly that he knew what he had seen and that it was not a story. Dr. Mack noted something specific in his documented findings. The children who had been closest to the figure described an experience of receiving information rather than just seeing a shape. Multiple children, independently, used the phrase about a message, something communicated without words, something about harm coming to the world. These children had not been in contact with each other between the event and the interviews. One 12-year-old girl told Dr. Mack on camera that the being had looked at her and she had known without being told that it was showing her something about technology and what people were doing to the world. She said this quietly and directly. She did not fidget. She did not look around for help or confirmation. That same girl was the one who had withheld something in the days right after the event. What she had not told the early investigators. What she told Dr. Mack when he asked her a question no one else had thought to ask. Was this: she had seen the being's face up close. Not from 100 meters, much closer. She said she did not understand how that was possible, because she had not moved from the fence. But she described the being's face with a level of detail that the other accounts did not contain. She described the skin as gray, white. She described the eyes as having no visible edge, just black, all the way across. She said the being had no expression she could read, but that it had not felt angry or dangerous to her. It had felt, she said, sad. Dr. Mack recorded all of this. It is in his published research and in the filmed interviews. After the interviews were complete, Dr. Mack made a statement that was widely reported at the time. He said that he could not find any psychiatric or psychological reason to doubt what the children had experienced. He said that in his professional view, something real had happened to them. He did not say what. He said he didn't know. But he said the children were not lying, not fantasizing, and not showing signs of shared delusion. That statement from a Harvard professor and Pulitzer winner was not what the skeptics had expected. And then the drawings were examined more closely, specifically, 2 of the drawings, done by children who had been standing at opposite ends of the fence line and therefore had completely different viewing angles, contained the same detail in the same position relative to the craft, a detail that Hind had not pointed out to either child, a detail that neither child could have seen from the other's position. The investigators could not explain how both drawings contained it. 2 children standing at opposite ends of the fence had drawn the same hidden detail, a detail neither one could have seen from where the other was standing. The investigators had no explanation for how both drawings contained it. That's it for part 2. Follow Untold Lores for part 3. Like and subscribe for daily stories.